Welcome to John's Tarot, the most obscure podcast on the internet. You know, some of the places I get to, I do this and it's just for fun, but I get to some wild places in the United States: Virginia, California, Florida, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Massachusetts, Utah, Washington, Connecticut, Georgia, New York, Tennessee, Texas, Arizona, Mississippi, and then all over the world. It's kind of funny, Hong Kong, go to Tunisia, of all places, Spain, China, Belgium, Brazil, Northern Ireland, England, Argentina, Jordan. Welcome all of you to John's Tarot. You know, I do this podcast for my own entertainment, actually, and for my own, because I have a level of awakening I'm experiencing. If you are listening to this podcast, you are also experiencing some level of awakening. You're also on the fool's journey. The fool's journey is that a journey of awakening, of coming to a higher level of consciousness. And we use the tarot in order to achieve that, in order to look at that. So, welcome to you from wherever you may be, and on that journey of awakening. Today, I don't know what I was going to talk about. Just briefly, yesterday, I wasn't able to post yesterday. I am a 67-year-old gentleman. I still work on a ICU as an ICU nurse, and I just worked 4 days in a row on the ICU. What did I do? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday was Veterans Day, and the wife was here. She had the day off, and she had some honeydew things for me to do. You know, the honeydew list: honeydew this, honeydew that. And other than that, I was just wiped out. I had nothing left in order to do a podcast. So that's why I brought it here to do today. So I hope you're all doing well, and you all have all gotten through the Veterans Day holiday. I didn't see our current president do anything for Veterans Day, but I saw Obama on an airplane greeting veterans as they came. I believe they were coming into Washington. And what is my, how can I say this? I want to greet all the veterans who may be listening to me too. I'm a veteran. I was in the Navy from 76 to 80. I was on a ship. I was on the USS Long Beach, a nuclear guided missile cruiser, and I did my thing, which was not that much, but I did what I could with what I was given, and I probably got much more out of it than I put into it. Today on the big news, we got big news, not that big of news, but so a bunch of stuff came out on an Epstein email to our current chief executive. And I have mostly tried to stay away from this Epstein controversy, feeling that it was just much too tawdry and drew me down to a level that I did not want to be, nor did I want to drag you guys down to either. Today some news came out that they released some Epstein emails, and where Epstein talks about how our chief executive was spending some time with some of Epstein's girls. What does that mean? I don't know. And really, we're going through so much stuff in this country. I mean, unemployment is high, inflation is high, cost of living is high. He's sending he's trying to send troops into American cities, trying to send in National Guard into blue states, American cities primarily. And I don't think his approval rating is all that great. I'm shuffling the cards. So my question is, what's it going to take to bring this guy down? Well, I mean, I think we're just going to have to wait. I've done things on his health. His health is terrible. He's been telling you he's got the health of a linebacker, but his health is terrible. And I won't go through the list of that. You can look at one of my old podcasts. I took a whole list of his symptoms and I ran them through an AI. I could have done a symptomology list myself, a symptom what did I call it? A differential diagnosis myself, but I ran it through AI for a differential diagnosis, and I got a lot of things that came back. Some of the big things were dementia and possible normal pressure hydrocephalus, probable stroke, probably stroke, probably leukemia infarcts, as well as it's got other health problems for sure, hyperlipidemia, could have diabetes to the way he eats and takes care of himself. Obviously he's got dementia, and I'll talk a little bit about that, I think, on my next podcast. He's got health problems, but what's it going to? But people still believe in him. Oh, he's the best, Mr. President. I read about him on Facebook. Oh, Mr. President, we're so lucky. I don't get it. And when I'm taking a look at that, I really think that there's a portion of our population, talk about being unawake. They're emotionally undeveloped. They don't have a higher center of thinking and a higher center of decision making. They just follow whatever's fed into their stream of consciousness. And these people are known as MAGA. And even them are starting to turn away and starting to see the truth. But I'm going to ask a little bit about the Epstein files. I got the cards out. My ability to read tarot is a gift, an expression of divine love, and I'm here to share it with you in that same spirit. So, what can we expect? Well, as far as these Epstein files and their effect on our current chief executive, what might we expect? As far as our current chief executive and the Epstein files, what might we expect? I cut the deck and we'll see what we get. My first card is the Magician. The Magician usually comes in when you have everything you need in order to move on to a higher level. And the Magician creates things out of what's seemingly nothing, but he has in front of him the pentacles, the cups, the swords, and the wands. The cups is where ideas formulate. The sword of truth, the wands, a new growth, new balance. And this is worth some money. It's worth something. So we have everything in front of us in order to make a decision about what do you think about the Epstein files. You've had all the evidence laid out in front of you. What do you think about them? And that's the Magician. Over the top of the Magician, I have the Hermit energy crossing the Magician. And that generally is somebody who's come a long way. I think this is describing my audience and their reaction to this Epstein files. You've all come a long way. You've all grown a great deal. The Hermit stands upon a high mountain peak, which he has traversed over many, many years. And he holds the lantern of wisdom and the wand of knowledge, the staff of knowledge to support him. And he is trying to bring other people along with him in order to see what he has seen. He is trying to blaze a trail. I don't think, some people will say the Hermit is of isolation, and maybe it is, because many of you are on that path of the fool's journey, and it is somewhat of an isolating journey, and you wonder, how come other people don't see what you see? And we're trying to bring other people along to open up their eyes, and give them an opportunity for personal growth. And on the foundation of the reading is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is somebody, it generally has to do with being wealthy and having everything, all the power he wanted in life, all the wealth he wanted in life. But some of the decisions that we make as we move forward, we have to keep in mind how these decisions may affect other people. Some of our viewpoints affect other people. Mind, body, and spirit affect the affect the population in general. We have to keep in mind, though we have everything we need in order to make a decision, in order to see the truth, you also have to remember and be careful with the things you say, because I don't know, sometimes if we're too outright, too forthright, with the things we say and with our insights. It'll affect people in a negative way, and it's not our position, not our job to drag people out of denial. That is not our job. Our job is only to provide a light, a guiding light for others to look at and say, what is going on with this individual, meaning us as people on the verge of awakening or in a process of awakening that make them different. It's only our job to provide the light. It's not our job to drag other people out of the darkness. So we have to be careful on how we present. And remember, it's going to affect other people. In the background in past history, we have the Chariot. The Chariot is an individual who has mastered, and I think this is about my audience and in regards to the Epstein files. The Chariot is someone who has mastered both the dark and light sides of their personality, both the ego and the giver of light. And he sits and he stands on top of a chariot, and he's mastered that, and he's moving forward. And if you look at the charioteer, he is not holding any reins, but he controls that both sides of his personality. The subconscious and the conscious, the dark side and the light. And he manages this as we move forward. I think this is talking about my audience. And then what crowns the reading is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is somebody who's a natural leader. He gets things done. He is not known to how to change people in order to accomplish his goals. This is the kind of power that we possess as people who are awakening up. People in the process of awakening, that we are natural leaders. We have the ability to affect how we know how to incorporate other people in order to accomplish our goals. And that's the energy that crowns this reading. If you're listening to this podcast, you are most likely one of those people who are in the process of awakening. You've mastered the dark side and your light side, and that you're able to bring people into your sphere of influence in order to accomplish your goals. And our goals are generally just to have other people wake up, other people come out of the darkness. The energy that's right in front of us is the Ace of Pentacles. You see a hand holding a pentacle, and that's usually positive for new financial opportunities, but it's also somebody who has the ability to. In the background, you see a rose bush with in a garden and a pathway and a thing that you pass through. I don't know what you would call it, a trellis. You pass through to a mountain, that you have achieved a certain higher level of awareness, and that you have the tenacity and the ability to move through that doorway, through that trellis, to higher levels of awareness. And that's the mountain in the background, and that's the energy that's in front of us that we all possess. So we are bringing others along with us. You possess that power. More people are awakening and starting to express that power, and we have that ability to stick with it and hang in there as we move forward. How's the environment? How do we see ourselves? That's this one. The Fool. I'm doing a 9-card Celtic cross. The Fool, and didn't I just talk about that, being on the Fool's journey? We're on that journey of awakening, and we see ourselves as being on that journey of awakening, the Fool's journey. And he holds a yellow, I believe it's a yellow or white flower in one hand, and a hobo's bag in the other, with a pole, and he has the white dog at his feet. He's about to step over the cliff. But this is always somebody who's on a journey with naivete. He doesn't know what's ahead of that journey, and the little dog is barking at him, telling him, be careful, don't step over the cliff. But this is a card of being on, and this is what I've been talking about from the very beginning. My listeners, most of you guys are on some level of awakening, and that is known as the Fool's journey. Another way of looking at the Fool's journey is through the Jungian concept of individuation, and I've done podcasts on that in the past, and I can do some podcasts on that in the future too. If you want to, send me an email and let me know. How does the environment? How do people see us? What's our environment in regards to our personal growth? the Two of Swords. A lot of people on the outside are working at cross purposes to themselves. They hold a Two of Swords and blindfolded so that they can't really see the truth. They're gathering information. That's the environment. That's the other people who are looking at us and looking at what's so different about him, and they're gathering information or thinking about it. And as we continue to move forward, they will continue to move forward because they're looking at it and they're gathering information about awakening. And then the five fears are fears and possible outcomes. The Five of Cups, you wonder, man, I got this awakening thing, and we're trying to awaken people up to reality. What's going on? Is this it? Is this all there is? And I know this started out to be about the Epstein files, but sometimes it feels that way. It feels very disappointing that we cannot get other people to see. And you have three cups in front of them, and then two cups that remain behind them. We have to look at the positives. What do you still have available? What resource, be grateful for the things you still have. And in the background, you see a bridge over a river and a castle. What that indicates is that your higher power, whoever that may be, is going to guide you. There's going to be a resolution to this whole thing with the Epstein files. And we have to have a little trust and that the way will be shown over this river, over the obstacle. And then the final outcome is the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles, you see, that's the journeyman. Keep working, keep supporting your family, keep working on your own personal growth and development. But remember, don't overdo it, and take time out for yourself to rest. Take some time out, like I took that little vacation. Take some time out for yourself in the words of that great American Elmer Fudd, rest and relaxation at last. It's important that we get a little rest and relaxation. But so keep working, keep growing, keep changing, keep developing yourself. And I think we're going to see some positive outcomes. I don't really know, to tell you the truth. I asked about the Epstein files, and apparently it's not so much about the Epstein files. It's about us as individuals, as people on the fool's journey who are awakening, who are going to affect society more than the Epstein files. So yeah, so keep growing, keep changing. No matter how hard it seems, and now we will affect society. So until next week, be careful, be cool, be kind, and remember, have courage, find faith. And I will try to post something up I'll probably post something tomorrow, video, because I'll be working on Friday. My schedule's been all messed up. And I will see you all I'll post something for Friday. I'll probably record it tomorrow. And you all have a great day and a great week. And we'll see you all later. All right. Bye-bye.